You have noticed it, haven't you? There is a specific type of coldness that has settled into the marrow of your bones lately. It isn't the cold of a winter wind or the chill of a drafty room. It is the freezing isolation of a frequency that no longer has a match in the environment where you currently stand. You are walking through your daily life, perhaps sitting at the dinner table with people you have known for decades, or standing in the middle of a crowded workplace, and suddenly, a wave of profound displacement washes over you. You look at the faces around you, and for a split second, they look like strangers. Their conversations about the mundane, their fixations on the trivial, their laughter at things that no longer move you. It all feels like a transmission from a distant, dying planet. You are physically there, but your spirit has already moved 10 miles ahead. And the distance is becoming painful. This is the season of the great thinning. You are feeling a weight in your chest. A heavy, unexplainable pressure that tells you the exit door is approaching. You might be experiencing sudden, sharp headaches that come on when you are forced to engage in small talk. You might feel a literal ringing in your ears when someone begins to project their drama onto you. This is your biological system rejecting a lower software. Your body is physically reacting to the density of the people around you because your light has become too concentrated for their shadows to comfortably inhabit the same space. You've tried to bridge the gap. You've tried to dim your light just enough to make them feel comfortable. You've swallowed your truths, nodded along to their illusions, and performed the role of the old you just to keep the peace. But it's getting harder, isn't it? The mask is heavy. It's starting to crack. Every time you try to fit back into the mold of who they want you to be, your soul screams. You feel an exhaustion that sleep cannot fix. You feel a loneliness that goes beyond just wanting a friend. It is a cosmic homesickness. You feel like a scout who has gone too far into the wilderness and can no longer remember the language of the base camp. This isolation isn't a mistake. It isn't a sign that you are failing or that you are becoming difficult. It is the precise evidence of your expansion. Think about the symptoms you've been ignoring, the way you've been retreating into silence, the way you find yourself staring out of windows, yearning for a home you can't quite describe, the way your phone feels like a burden, and notifications feel like intrusions from a world you no longer belong to. You are being quarantined by the divine. You are being pulled into the secret place because the next level of your power requires a purity that the crowd will only contaminate. The more you grow, the more the world feels like a tight shoe. It pinches. It blisters. It draws blood. You are feeling the friction of a soul that has outgrown its container. You are sitting in the silence of your room, wondering why the phone has stopped ringing, why the invitations have dried up, or why, even when they do come, you have no desire to say yes. You feel like a ghost in your own life. But I am here to tell you that you are not disappearing. You are being refined. The void you feel is not emptiness. It is the space being cleared for a glory you cannot yet imagine. You are being prepared for a solitude that is not lonely, but holy. The reason the silence has become so loud is not because you are being punished, but because you are being recalibrated. You must understand the spiritual mechanics of what is happening in your life right now. You are a biological antenna, and for years, you have been tuned to the frequency of the collective, the static, the fear, the gossip, and the small-mindedness of the 3D matrix. But as you have done the inner work, as you have prayed, meditated, and healed your traumas, your internal dial has been turned. You are now vibrating at a pitch that the world around you literally cannot hear. This is why you feel invisible. This is why, When you speak your truth, people look at you with blank stares or sudden hostility. You are broadcasting in high definition to a room full of analog televisions. The signal is there, but they lack the hardware to receive it. Spiritually, you are undergoing a process of divine decoupling. Think of a rocket ship breaking orbit. To reach the stars, the ship must shed its heavy boosters. Those boosters were necessary to get the ship off the ground. But if it tries to carry them into deep space, the weight will cause it to crash. In your life, those boosters are the relationships, the habits, and the social circles that serve the old version of you. They are heavy with density. They are tethered to the gravity of the earth. As you accelerate toward your higher calling, the friction between your rising spirit and their stationary energy creates heat. That heat feels like loneliness. It feels like betrayal, but in the realms of the spirit, it is simply the law of resonance. You cannot occupy two frequencies at once. You are being forced to choose between the comfort of the crowd and the power of the peak. There is a divine rule you have unknowingly triggered. To whom much is given, much is required in the way of separation. You are being called into the Nazarite vow of the modern age. In ancient times, those set apart for a specific holy purpose had to abstain from the common things of the world. They couldn't touch certain things or go certain places. Today, your vow is energetic. You are being moved into a spiritual quarantine because the next download of your destiny is too sensitive to be corrupted by the opinions of the unhealed. If the people around you could see what is being woven into your spirit right now, they would try to talk you out of it. Or worse, they would try to steal the seed before it has a chance to bloom. The universe has placed a hedge of loneliness around you as a protective barrier. It is a cloaking device. You feel alone because your angels are clearing the room so they can speak to you without interruption. Every time you feel that pang of isolation, it is an invitation to go within. The void you are experiencing is actually a womb. It is dark, it is quiet, and it feels restrictive. But it is the only place where the new you can be formed. If you were constantly surrounded by the noise of others, you would mistake their voices for the voice of the Creator. You would mistake their desires for your purpose. This isolation is a surgical strike by the divine to remove the people-pleasing parasite from your heart. You are being taught that your approval must come from the source, not the storefront. You are being hardened, like tempered steel, so that when you are finally revealed, no weapon formed against you, no mockery, no rejection, no gaslighting will be able to dent your resolve. You are learning to stand in the power of I am, independent of the we are. Now, turn your gaze outward and observe the architecture of the illusion collapsing around you. Have you noticed the bizarre, almost mechanical shift in how they respond to you? The narcissists, the energy vampires, the matrix agents you once called family, friends, or co-workers. Physically, you are witnessing their internal systems malfunction. Watch their body language. They cannot hold eye contact with you anymore. Their eyes dart away, unable to withstand the piercing weight of your gaze. They initiate unprovoked arguments out of thin air, grasping at straws to bait you into a reaction. You walk into a room, and the heavy, suffocating air suddenly shifts, the temperature drops. The conversation abruptly halts, and a thick tension settles over the space. They exclude you from their gatherings, whisper in corners, send passive-aggressive messages, or they abruptly ghost you entirely. Do not mistake this for you being awkward or unwanted. This is their biological and nervous systems going into full threat detection mode. Your physical presence is triggering a somatic panic within them. Emotionally, beneath their masks of arrogance or indifference, they are absolutely terrified of you. You are no longer the compliant, easily manipulated source of supply they once devoured. As your consciousness expands, your aura becomes a massive, unyielding mirror. When they stand before you, they no longer see the timid version of you that they could control. Instead, they are violently forced to look directly at their own unhealed traumas, their own deceit, their own mediocrity, and their own shallow existence. Your blinding authenticity shines a relentless spotlight on their carefully constructed lies. They feel deeply exposed, naked, and ashamed in your presence. And so, the ego's defense mechanism kicks in. They project, they label you as crazy, arrogant, or too much. They try to gaslight you into believing your isolation is a punishment for your boundaries. But their distance is not a punishment. It is a panicked retreat. They are sprinting away from the unavoidable truth that you embody. But we must go deeper, past the emotional flesh, directly into the spiritual battlefield. This is not just a clash of personalities, it is a spiritual eviction. The low-frequency entities, the parasitic attachments, and the dark forces that operate through these unconscious vessels are literally burning in your presence. You have raised your vibration to a blazing frequency that is utterly hostile to demonic suppression. In the past, when you engaged in their gossip, their manufactured drama, and their fear, you were feeding them your vital life force. You were an open battery. Now, the energetic cafeteria is permanently closed. The matrix algorithms are short-circuiting around you because their codes of control cannot latch onto a frequency of sovereign light. The entities looking out from behind their eyes recognize the ancient, divine spark waking up within you, and they are trembling. Your light is a consuming fire to their shadows. You must finally comprehend the reality of your power. They are not rejecting you, they are retreating from you. The Matrix desperately wants you to feel the sting of loneliness so that you will compromise, lower your vibration, and beg for readmission into their toxic fold. The narcissist wants you to feel discarded so you will crawl back for their breadcrumbs. You must see through this pathetic illusion. Your silence, your unwavering boundaries, your absolute refusal to engage in their low-vibrational games, this is your ultimate weapon. Every single time you choose your divine peace over their engineered chaos, you dismantle a pillar of their false reality. You are a living, breathing glitch in their system. They isolate you, not because you are weak, but because they are paralyzed by the realization of how powerful you have become without them. Let us pull back the veil completely and look at the eternal blueprint of your existence. Physically, you are walking the ancient, narrow path. Look down at your feet in your mind's eye. The road you are on is not paved with the cheap applause of the masses. It is paved with gravel, silence, and stark solitude. Your physical body is undergoing a literal, cellular transfiguration. The deep fatigue you feel in your muscles, the sudden, unexplainable need to sleep in the middle of the day, the abrupt changes in your diet where the heavy, processed foods of the Matrix suddenly make you physically ill. This is your DNA upgrading. You are embodying more photonic light. Your physical vessel is violently shedding its carbon-based density to hold a crystalline frequency. You simply cannot drag the heavy baggage of a three-dimensional life through the eye of this narrow needle. Your physical isolation is the necessary cocoon for this biological metamorphosis. The caterpillar does not invite an audience into the chrysalis. It dissolves in total darkness, completely alone, emotionally. You are moving through the profound grief of outgrowing the very world you were born into. It is an intense mourning period. You are weeping for a version of humanity, perhaps even a version of your own family, that you desperately wanted to save, but you finally realize you must leave behind. You are violently letting go of the emotional fantasy that they will eventually wake up and understand you. They won't, and as that harsh realization sinks into your heart, the agonizing loneliness begins to transform into something else entirely: sovereign peace. You stop seeking external validation because you realize the crowd is profoundly asleep. Why would you ever desire the approval of a society that is fundamentally sick, emotionally? You are graduating. You are moving away from the chaotic, trauma-bonded emotional roller coaster of the collective consciousness, stepping into the unshakable calm of the divine observer. You are becoming the quiet eye of the raging storm, spiritually. This is the exact, undeniable fulfillment of the ancient prophecy written into your soul contract long before you even incarnated onto this dense planet. You are a starseed. You are the chosen. You were never, ever meant to fit into this matrix. You were deployed here to dismantle it from the inside out. The universal law of vibration dictates that like attracts like. As your frequency skyrockets to match the Creator, you become completely incompatible with the lower, demonic realms of deception, ego, and fear. The divine is intentionally, surgically separating the wheat from the chaff in your life. The reason you feel so intensely alone is that you are being forcibly pulled out of the karmic wheel. The matrix operates on a looping cycle of trauma, reaction, and recycled suffering. You have broken that loop by choosing healing, by choosing light, by choosing the pain of isolation over the poison of toxic integration. You have shattered the ancestral curses that bound your bloodline for centuries. You are not a victim of loneliness. You are a vanguard of the new earth. The universe is aggressively clearing your grid. Imagine a master architect demolishing a condemned building to construct a glorious, towering cathedral. The demolition phase is loud, dusty, and painfully empty. The people who loved the old, rotting building will stand at the edge of the property and curse you for tearing it down. But they cannot see the golden blueprints you hold in your spirit. The Creator has handed you the blueprints for a life of unprecedented abundance, profound spiritual authority, and limitless freedom. This requires a massive, ruthless clearing of the old. The void you are staring into right now is not empty. It is vibrating, pregnant with divine potential. You are standing on the absolute precipice of your greatest manifestation. Do not look back at the burning cities of your past. Keep your eyes fixed on the brilliant horizon. This isolation is the final, magnificent test of your initiation. It is time to stop mourning the shedding of your old skin and start stepping into the absolute authority of your new physical reality. The separation has happened. The bridge is burned. Now, what do you do with this sacred isolation? Physically, you must ground this massive influx of high-frequency energy into your actual biological body, or it will short-circuit your nervous system. Tomorrow morning, before you look at your screen, before you let the matrix dictate your thoughts, you must put your bare feet directly on the earth. Feel the soil, the stone, the physical foundation of this planet. Drink pure water to physically flush the cellular debris of the people. the arguments, and the toxic environments you are permanently leaving behind. When your phone rings, and it is an agent of chaos trying to pull you back into their low vibrational drama, you will physically put the device face down. You will not type out a long, exhausting explanation. You will not defend your boundaries. You will embrace the physical act of absolute silence. Silence is your heaviest shield. Non-reaction is your sharpest sword. Your physical absence from their world is the most devastatingly powerful statement you can ever make. Let them wonder. Let them watch from afar. You are officially untouchable. Emotionally, I command you right now to release the guilt. You have carried the heavy, suffocating backpack of everyone else's emotional baggage for multiple lifetimes. You have been the empathic sponge, soaking up the venom of narcissists, the complaints of the complacent, and the heavy sorrow of the deliberately unhealed. Take that backpack off right now. Let it drop to the floor. It is not your job to drag unconscious people across the finish line of their own awakening. Emotionally detach from the catastrophic outcomes of their lives. You are allowed to feel deep, unrelenting joy, even while the world around you is spinning in manufactured chaos. You are allowed to feel a profound, unapologetic peace, sitting alone in an empty room. When the phantom emotion of loneliness tries to creep into your chest late at night, whispering that you are abandoned, you will aggressively flip the script in your mind. You will smile in the dark. You will realize that you are not abandoned. You are liberated. You are emotionally insulated by the divine. The peace you feel right now, that quiet, steady rhythm in your heart, is the ultimate proof that you have finally chosen yourself over the illusion. Now, we must spiritually seal this work. We must lock the energetic doors of your aura so that no thief can return to steal the light you have fiercely cultivated in the dark. Take a deep, slow breath with me right now. Pull the breath deep into the center of your stomach. Hold it for just a moment, and violently exhale the heavy, stagnant air of the past. As you listen to the rhythmic sound of my voice, I want you to visualize a blinding, impenetrable pillar of white-hot fire descending from the highest heavens, crashing through the roof of wherever you are sitting, and completely enveloping your entire energetic field. This is your divine firewall. Nothing of a lower vibration can cross this threshold. Any dark entity, any jealous projection, any psychic attack sent your way by those who resent your rise will instantly burn to ash upon contact with this shield. You are hidden in the shadow of the Almighty. You are cloaked by the highest angelic forces of the cosmos. Repeat this decree in your spirit, or speak it aloud into the room to permanently command the atmosphere. I am a sovereign being of original light. I release all vows, all contracts, and all cords tying me to the third-dimensional matrix. I accept my divine isolation as my sacred initiation. I call back all of my power from all timelines, all dimensions, and all spaces. Right here, right now, I am the chosen, and I step into my throne. The frequencies are locked. The shift is complete. The universe has heard your declaration, and the old reality is officially dead. If you feel this fire in your bones, if your soul is vibrating in absolute recognition of this prophetic truth, you must claim it. Do not let this moment pass unrecorded. Subscribe to this frequency to stay aligned with your true soul family. Comment down below. I am chosen and I am free. To digitally and spiritually seal this activation into the physical realm, the road ahead is glorious, and you are no longer walking it in the dark.